Husband changes our boy's diaper but not our girls. My husband never changed our baby girl's diaper, not once, and she's 2 years old now. But my husband does change our baby boy's diaper. I told him to change her diaper and he won't. He says it makes him feel uncomfortable wiping and changing her diaper because she has female genitalia. He also doesn't bathe her. I am responsible for bath time for the kiddos. I've spoke to this with my friends and family, and some of them think it's normal for a man to feel this way. I guess I'm not the first wife to experience this, but I just think it's odd. A lot of men in my family were also like this. My father never changed a diaper, but he never changed mine or my brother's diaper. It wasn't strictly a gender thing. I just thought this wasn't really a thing anymore. I thought maybe it's because men are more sexual and they think about sex all the time and tend to over-sexualize everything, but I think it's really weird that he's doing the most about our baby girl. One time he really went overboard with this weird phobia. He was alone with our baby girl and she pooped and she really needed a diaper change. He was in a public setting, but even if he wanted to change her diaper he couldn't because they don't have changing tables in the men's restroom. This is true. I've been to this area before and they only have changing tables in the women's rooms. So my husband drove to my mother's house and she changed our daughter's diaper and then he went home. I just thought this was so ridiculous. Luckily he isn't really alone with our kids for a long period of time since my husband works most of the time and I'm a stay-at-home mom, but this is just so ridiculous when I have to take a shower. And he's like, aren't you going to change her first? My curiosity got the best of me and I started Googling why a lot of men don't like to change diapers, and this was a common problem I saw a lot of people were having. It's just crazy to me. I don't feel weird changing my boy's diaper, but people are telling me it's because women aren't naturally perverted as much as men are. I had no problem changing my daughter's diaper. I did have to be shown how to do it the right way. I never thought of it in way other way than she needed to be cleaned up so she didn't get a rash or infection. I worked in childcare for 20 years. I never had a dad not willing to change his daughter's diaper. That's literally dozens of dads. This guy is ridiculous. Ask him what he's going to do if you die. Never change her? Never bathe her? I'm sorry, but your husband is weird. Just imagine if you neglected your sons because of their gasp genitals. This is so wild to me. My husband and I were just talking about this. And how I was so happy he wasn't a weirdo grossed out by his daughter's genitals. Both my husband and stepdad took great care changing their respective daughters' diapers. As someone who had only brothers and never grew up with any women other than my mom, when my first baby was a girl, I felt a little weird about it. But know what? I sucked it up and took care of my baby girl. I changed likely around 95 of her diapers and it wasn't weird after the first time or two. I would do anything for my kids, no matter how uncomfortable it may make me feel. Your husband needs to grow the fuck up. What? Your husband seriously has problems if he is so uncomfortable he can't change a nappy in an emergency? To drive to your mother's house? WTF? Why is he so uncomfortable? Is he attracted to your daughter and doesn't want to be too close? So many giant red flags. If it's not that, then he is just a sexist who will always treat your daughter differently. Yuck. Imagine if you refused to change your son's nappy because he had a penis. What would he do? Why are you letting him get away with this? Your husband truly needs to see a therapist if his toxic masculinity is that deep that he cannot see women as anything but sexual, including his daughter. He's sick in the head and truly needs help. I want you to realize this is not normal behavior at all. I'm sorry, but your husband's weirdness is causing him to be an incompetent parent. At least on one front. I can't understand how some people think that all genitalia is sexual. Therefore I can't look at my children naked. He really needs to get over this. For your daughter's sake. I would investigate this further. I can't believe you put up with this for 2 years. Our first kid was a girl. I had never changed a diaper in my life and I suffer from OCD, so intrusive thoughts are a thing, but I had no problem changing her and bathing her. I'm concerned for you with him, especially as your daughter ages, develops, etc. This is something you have to figure out. I think he has some kind of phobia or POCD. Was he ever sexually abused as a child? I'd recommend he get into therapy ASAP since it's causing him to neglect his parenting duties. I'd ask this in our Ask Men BC. This is kinda a warning flag for me. It's weird that your husband is sexualizing your infant daughter. Does he ask how you're not uncomfortable changing the diapers of your sons? Your husband is a sexist asshole and you should protect your children from him. He can get the fuck over himself, lol, it's just genitals. What's his problem? Does he think it's sexual? That's on him for sexualizing a literal baby toddler. There is nothing weird about changing his own daughter's diaper. If she were a bit older, that might be a bit different for having bath time together. But at 2 or younger? Come the fuck on. This is weird ASF, and it makes me think that your husband is sexualizing his own baby daughter. Fearful. Think long and hard about the connotations of his actions and monitor his behavior around her very closely if you want to stay with him. I have angry feelings, but I'm going to try to be helpful. I think your husband, like a lot of men and women, has been left with some mystery around women's bodies. Unless he's truly someone to worry about. It's probably just that he doesn't know what is okay, what isn't, how to wash what, etc. He may also feel that other people might find a grown man touching a little girl gross or bad. It's generally really bad, unless it's your kid who you're helping. He needs to be comfortable caring for all his children. But there could be a lot of reasons why he's not. Talk to him. There are more reports of men as abusers than women. But women are abusers. It is underreported. As a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, women got away with it because of the sexist beliefs that only men are child sex offenders. Some men go out of their way to avoid any type of perception they are a pedophile. This can interfere with life, as has been specified in the comments. Some men do so because of being sexually abused as a child themselves. It caused me a lot of stress to change the diapers of my son and daughter. Okay, well, I have all girls and I've changed so many diapers I've lost count. However, I don't think perversion is the reason men might be uncomfortable with changing a girl's diaper. I don't have a good reason as to why it might be. I just can't believe that. If it is as common as you say, fathers are afraid of being sexually attracted to their infants. I know that perverts exist, and I'm not saying all men are upright, but to think that all men are thinking about sex just because they saw a baby's genitals while doing a completely non-sexual and necessary task is kinda ridiculous. I could change my son's diaper without a problem. But my wife had to teach me how to change our daughters. Most of us dumbasses know if we do it wrong she could get an infection. And it scares the hell out of us. Just show him how and supervise the first couple times in case he's unsure or has questions. You've posted this in 4 places now? Are you getting the answers you want? I had one father describe changing his daughter as difficult because there were too many crevices. And the more he wiped poop, the more it seemed to spread. He was worried about hurting her. I don't think it's necessarily sexualizing her. Foreskin wasn't something I was comfortable dealing with, and I sure as heck never saw anything remotely sexual about a baby's pee.